Okay, let's go and see what's coming out, right? I haven't shuffled, like, we're going to use the cards, but this is a bit of a weird one because I just put some content out, or I just done a reading before this, and it is now titled The Future of Child Development, and it's weird because I came to do a reading, and then I ended up, like, talking about child development and child psychology, and it didn't even feel spiritual or like a reading anymore. We were just diving into a real serious topic around the future of us and in relation to how we've grown up versus how children have grown up, and what the future's going to look like for our children, and how the impacts of COVID have influenced us. And it was personal, and we was tapping into some of your energy, but it was also really significant to the wider world. And actually, I gave away some really juicy secrets about the future of child development and how kids are developing now in small little ecosystems around the world, and furthermore, what the standards will be for every child in the future. And if you know about the national curriculum and Every Child Matters, very significant. So I would go and check that out. That threw me, mate. I didn't know I was giving away tea like that for a reading. So let's see what wants to come through over here, and see if we're going to be following the same thread or something different. I feel like we're really scientific today, so I feel like anyone connecting, they're spiritual, and they're also, we're talking about money, and we're talking about, oh my God, polarities here. Yeah, we're in a scientific thread today, so I might be connecting with people in science, people in the field of science, researchers, activists, my favourite kind of people, I'm not going to lie. I know what it's like to be struggling. Oh, okay, here we go, we found the thread. I found who I'm connecting with. Listen. I hear you, I see you loud and clear. I've been doing some research over the last few days, developing and plotting everything I need financially for some Web3 developments for the business. Feel free to go and check out my website underneath technology, and you'll see the different stuff I do. Now, as I'm doing a little markup financially, establishing exactly what I need for the next step and the next leg of the race in regards to research and corporate funding and all of that good stuff, right? I looked at a range of different companies, and as I looked at these different companies, the main thing that stood out to me and broke my heart is how beautiful they all were at creating the most amazing tech, and how a lot of them had to pull back from their prototypes and the stuff that they were actually producing because financially they weren't getting the backing. What really, really melts my heart and also breaks my heart at the exact same time, and that's the first two cards coming out that I'm seeing, is we spend years and years and years as researchers, right, putting our effort, our philosophy, our knowledge, our time on the line to be scrutinized. We're coming up with hypotheses again and again. We're changing models and formulas again and again. We're reading white paper after white paper, initiative after initiative, laws and legislations, making sure we're up to code with ethics, up to code with law and legislation, up to date with current times, because we can't just take publications from the start of time, even though they're the ones that are mostly rooted in the foundation and philosophy of the truest nature of whatever we're seeking and searching. But we've got to find creators and other researchers, scientific peer-reviewed articles that have also done the work and that are more up to date and more logistical to look at in the now period of space-time, if we want to say it like that, which is also quite sucky, because it's like, fucking hell, we just want to get to the root of the problem, make this tech, make this step in society. What real researchers struggle with, right, and really pisses me off, is we spend all of our time writing lengthy pieces of white paper, producing them. We've outlined what the future implications are, we've discussed it, we've outlined the findings, we've highlighted the real world significance, and then what happens to it? What happens to it? How many people read it? How long does it fucking sit there for? How many decades have we got to wait for someone to pick this up and realise it's really important? The government's got all these incentives and all these initiatives and all these stuff that they need to be done, but are they reading the white papers coming from the sectors that have spent? We've got people working on research ideologies and methodologies and philosophies for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. A lot of the work I do is founded on the greats, yeah? Darwin, Einstein, Brodford Brenner, Ritzer, Maslow. All of these people, dead and gone, a lot of them. Still building on their philosophies years on. Tesla, still building on philosophies years on. You think we're not exhausted? And we're out here doing the damn work years and years and years, and we still can't even get the funding. Yet we know the ideologies we're sitting on are worth millions. And the thing is, it's interesting because we come from a sector where it's not about the money. We're not in corporate. It's scientific, and it's got to be. We've got to make sure the hypothesis is tested, and we've got to nullify this and prove this, and it's a nightmare for us. Ethically, there's all these restraints as well. all of these requirements in funding. We've got to fit into a certain school, a school of science as well. We can't fucking move if we're not in the right school of science. That makes me livid as well. And you've got to have the right network, the right social group, and the right people that are willing to risk their credentials and career on your philosophy. Imagine I'd stopped doing my doctorate, couldn't even get my thesis approved because actually the people that I was most known to and associated with, that I wanted to move forward with, wouldn't dare want to touch it for their own reputation. And it was out of their remit, furthermore. I would have to go to a whole other branch of science. A whole other branch of science I've never been to before in my life. And actually, I could find another area of science to walk into and be accepted, but then I've got to prove myself to them. Then they don't know me. Then I've got to share all my work with them. I've got to break it down to... It's such a cliquey culture as well. It's difficult. That's why I'm out here being an independent. And I tell you, I'm paving the fucking way for myself in this independent lane over here. Thank God. Seriously, backed by God over here. We don't need fiat over here. We don't need gold. She is backed by God. I said that in another reading talking about finances, and I just thought it was hilarious because it's so true. So that's what I want to say for you guys, right? That's the message for you guys as well. I might not even just shuffle anymore, they're saying now. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pull another deck towards the end. But let me just tell you this. You don't need to be backed by an institution. You do not need to be backed by fiat, backed by gold, backed by a specific scientific research group, a branch of science. You don't need to conform to an institution. I tell you think you do. I tell you that it's uniquely different for all of you guys, and depending on what you want to do and what you believe your life mission is and whatever your unique philosophy is, you kind of do got to go to someone. You can't approve shit on your own. But I can't believe that at the age I'm at, 34 years old, didn't go to university until I was 28. Right? In that time, I've managed to have really shit grades, really shit GCSE, work my way up from a level 2 and a level 3 cash diploma and cash certificate and diploma, shitty qualifications, never found purpose, never understood mathematics, really shit grades. I only had a C GCSE leaving school, so imagine my whole history is really shit. And then I'll get into education at 28 when I'm old enough now and started to study spirituality, step into the branches of science that I'm most comfortable with and most aligned to spirituality at the time, which was psychology, developmental psychology at that, right? Step into that arena now, and wow, for fuck's sake, I'm getting first in everything I do from the jump. Yeah? Apart from when I challenge the status quo and then they downgrade me because they're like, who the fuck do you think you are? You best follow the rubric, bitch. And then when I outrightly insult the assessor in my writing piece because I'm an obnoxious bitch and I like to show off, doesn't get you the grades you want. I'll tell you that much. So I mean, we've had to learn our ways, but I left uni in 2020, class of 2020, with a first after years of thinking I was really inadequate and really dumb because I was never doing anything that was stimulating me enough. With that, I still struggled. I got accused of plagiarism in like my second year, saying my work was thesis level and definitely not done by an undergraduate. Then it was confirmed that I did do it. And then I still got a shit grade because once again, the rubric didn't agree with it. So really shitty situations that we go through as unique philosophers, as individuals trying to break trail. And even when you scream, I'm trying to break trail and you're keeping me prisoner here, you get looked at like you're a nutcase even more. So, I mean, in my head, I always go, okay, Einstein must have went through it. The greats must have went through it. How dare I assume I'm one of the greats? And probably not. But fucking hell, I've got to look to them to keep me going because their struggles and their strifes and all the unique stuff that they done in their research career, they were probably seen as absolute narcissists and egomaniacs as well for trying to do something out of the norm. But how do we ever break the status quo and create something that's never been created in society if we don't choose to act and behave in a way in which society's never seen? Scary, but someone's got to do it. Step in the hermetologist. So it's about breaking the mold and just going with yourself and trusting that your vision's right. And my point with all of this as well, because the reason I just told you that story is after all of that, all of those trials and tribulations, 2021, after losing 3 family members in 2020, Dad was one of them who died of a heroin overdose. Keep talking about my dad's deaths. That means clearly I'm having a Keir Starmer moment because, I mean, the public must know about all the sadness in your life to boost your credentials and get you that Labour vote. Hey, Keir Starmer. Really not happy at the way that Rishi's being treated right now, for he is indeed the rightful one. I don't even care about Conservative and Labours. I care about the right person being in the right seat at the right time. And Keir Starmer screaming about his dad's passing every 10 seconds isn't cute for me. My dad died of a heroin overdose. He committed suicide 5 days after my nan's funeral. It's not cute either. But I'm not... And I'm screaming it. So I'm literally Keir Starmer in the now moment. But I don't want to be. And I don't think Keir Starmer should use that in his publicly as a way to get leverage and make him more relatable. Save that for your therapist. As I will do after this. But this is a well-being channel, so I get away with it. He's in the public fucking arena claiming to be the next Prime Minister. Not cute, Keir Starmer, not cute. Save it for your one-to-one session with the NHS or in the well-being department. Save it for the initiative that you're going to create that's going to help psychological well-being. Save it for IAPT. Save it for your hand greeting handshakes with IAP or something. But using it as part of your main campaign media trail, not cute. Again, Keir Starmer, not cute. Exactly why I don't want you in the seat. Anyway, back to the main point of the story. All of that, everything I've been through, got my project, kind of everything I wanted to do rejected, really made me feel shitty as well at the time, because I needed something to motivate me and keep me going after all the kind of deaths and bullshit I've been through in my life, and I didn't have that. But that forced me into an independent lane. I had nothing left other than to be an independent, because I weren't giving up on my philosophy. Even though I was screaming, I got universal law in 2018 to all of my lecturers. They thought I was a nutcase. No one even replied apart from one blessed soul who thought, right, let me hear this nutcase out, because goodness me, nutcases do exist and they are all around us. So we've got to take them seriously, because one of them's sitting on gold. And luckily that inspired me enough to keep going. And I mean, yeah. As a result, I am doing what I am doing now with minimal support and backing and minimal financial backing. But I've learned enough and studied enough to know how to get that backing now financially. And I've got really exciting stuff in the pipeline that I don't know how it's going to turn out. And I might be in the same situation I'm in now a year from now. But 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I know I won't be. And I would independently pave my own way, my own corporation, my own industry, my own lifestyle. And I will be teaching and preaching about a range of scientific philosophies that a lot of people couldn't even see or comprehend in 2018 and 2019, but now they're solidified things in space-time, and they're going to change the world. And I'm not going to be egoic in my way of saying that, but I mean, we're going to change the thinking of people, and it will eventually change the world years from now. Not me personally, but a collective of us all coming forward, sharing those same ideologies and working towards a great cause, you know? Really, really nice and really, really empowering. And I hope that helps you find the thread of what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. And that it is okay for you to go independent and go a unique route and do something differently and balance out your woes over money and wealth and abundance and just move into the light. And that light is unique for all of us. I'm not sitting here preaching as a fucking pastor saying, move into the light, God is the only way to go. No. What is the light for you? What is the right thing for you to do? That's the point here. Everyone has their own light source. Oh, we can get physics if you want now, because I'm a free agent. Ain't got to stay in the psychology lane. Do you get what I mean? We can take, what is the light for you? Let's go physics. What is the source for you? Let's go ecology. What is the truth for you? Let's go sociology. We can go anywhere we want now. We've got that liberation and freedom, because I'm not bound to one school of science. Do you get the point here? Point, atom. Neuron. Where else can we go with a point? Geometry. We can take geometry, can we? Where else can we go with a point? Anyone else got any points to make here? Oh, we can take that to a decimal point then, can't we? Do you get the point here? Sociology. What other wordplay can we use? Communication as well. We can take that over to computer science as well, can't we, with that point? Code. Programming. I mean, we can go all day. I hope you get the point now, guys. I really do. Love and light. I'll be back soon with more.